All right, what is going on? Welcome back to the Extra Innings Podcast. I am your host, Elijah Rodriguez. And today we're back with another episode, which is crazy because we've actually done an episode every day this week. That's pretty new for us, for me. I say us because I have, friends that I talk to and I bounce stuff off of. So this is very much a collaborative effort, even though at times it doesn't really seem like it. It seems like a one-person effort, but I got guys asking me questions. I got debates that spark ideas, which is exactly what this episode is today. So fair warning, we're going to be taking a little bit of a detour from MLB news today. So if you're here for the MLB stuff and you don't have kids playing college baseball or about to go through the college recruitment process, or you didn't go through the college recruitment process, this episode may not be interesting to you. But so yeah, and although I know yesterday was a big day, Paul Skeens was announced he's going to have a start on Saturday, which is what the baseball world seems to have been waiting for. You got the Rangers who are going through an injury hell right now. Jack Leiter came back, and we thought we were going to see some stuff from him, and he got ripped the fuck up by the A's yesterday. So there is baseball news, and I promise you guys we're going to be having that on socials today. I'm going to talk about that on socials and on YouTube, and we're going to have a breakdown. I'm going to try to get a breakdown. I had two situations I wanted to break down and talk about, both of them throwbacks, but time will be the teller if I actually get to do those today or not. But anyway, what we're going to talk about today, this is actually my second take on this episode because I just couldn't really gather my thoughts in full on this topic. But to kind of give an intro, I was talking at a family friend text me yesterday, a kid I used to coach who's going into his sophomore year of high school, or sophomore or junior year. I think it was junior year. And which was funny because I was having this conversation about, I saw a video not too long ago talking about full rides and how they were not real. And I think that, well, not that they're not real, that they are sometimes overblown. And let me explain. So this person, damn, I forgot the freaking guy who made the video. He's a really well-known guy. But anyway, and I saw it a couple days or about a week ago, and then this conversation happened, and I thought there's a lot of people, especially parents, who have first, their oldest kids are about to be going through the recruiting process. They're serious about baseball, who don't quite understand how all this works. And the main topic was, he was telling me that, there was this kid he's a senior this year, and he's got a full ride to a school that I went to, St. Mary's. And I said, full ride? Are you sure? And he was like, yeah, his parents were saying that the coaches really loved him. And that's when the red flag went up. And I said, okay. I was like, everybody calm down, stop. We need to talk about this, right? So there is an idea that colleges give full rides. Like it's a term that's thrown around, but a lot of times it's not quite understood. Now, the term full ride means, obviously, and sounds super rudimentary if you're listening, but it's that they are covering the athletic department, and that's what most people don't understand, is that a full ride can mean multiple things. As long as you're going to school and not paying a dime out of your pocket, you're on a full ride. You're not paying the dime. But parents and these select ball people and this select group of people who think coaches love their kids, they're always like, yeah, my son's getting a full ride. Yeah, coaches love them. They're paying for everything. He's for sure going to be there, whatever, right? Not taking into effect that it's probably not a true athletic full ride. It's probably bulked up and built up by all these different Pell Grants and scholarships and on the academic side that have built this thing that, yes, technically you're on a full ride, but it's not because they threw the freaking book at you and wanted you immediately. That's very rare, right? But anyway, so he's telling me this, and I wanted to kind of dig into this a little bit. It shouldn't be a too crazy long episode, but I did want to talk about it. So here's what people don't understand. When it comes to college sports, guys, college sports, especially in the NCAA, I won't really talk about junior college because I did go to junior college and I did get a full ride. So we'll talk real quick about NAI and NJCA, and then we'll get into the big one, which is NCAA, which is where full rides for baseball and softball are few and far between. It's very small. It's a very small percentage that get that true full ride from the athletic department. Now listen, NJCA, so junior college, I was technically on a full ride, right? When I was there, I was at Angelina College. So if you didn't know, I played at Incarnate Word my freshman year. I got a minimum athletic scholarship and some academic because I was a private school kid. But in reality, that was nowhere near even 50%. I think in total, I was maybe had like 30 to 40% of my tuition paid for because it was so expensive. It was a private school. So I didn't get that there. When I went to Angelina, which I didn't play I transferred. I took a redshirt year at Incarnate Word, then transferred out to Angelina Junior College to play. and I was a walk on that fall, but then I got put on a full ride for the spring, and then my sophomore year was completely paid for. Now, and that was because I was so late to the recruitment. I think I decided I was going to go there like 3 weeks before school started. So that was I knew at that point I had no other offers. I was going to have to take this one. No money involved. It was only going to cost like $4 or $5 grand for me to go. It had to happen, right? But then I got it paid for. But listen, so when I went to Angelina, my total tuition was, like I said, about $5 grand. It wasn't very expensive, and that was with room and board, food, books, everything. Now, Angelina said, we'll put you on a full ride because they look at all your stuff and say, well, he gets this much FAFSA, he gets this much from grades, he gets this Pell Grant, he gets this grant, blah, 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 right? And they're like, okay, well, we only have to give this guy $3 grand, and he's on a full ride. He has to pay a dime. And that just pays for his room and board, his tuition, or his room and board, his books, and his food, all that stuff. And his FAFSA, his all this other stuff will take care of his tuition. So he's good. So that was technically a full ride, but it wasn't because my kid's so freaking good that they threw the book at him, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't because Elijah's this guy. We need him. We got to give him everything. It's a full ride. No, dude, it was like, okay, well, we really can put this guy on a full ride scholarship because we only have to give him $3 grand. That's nothing in their eyes. They're like, yeah, give him $3 grand, and then he's good. We'll have him. He's locked in. Done. And that's what people don't understand. So in junior college was like that. And then at St. Mary's, it was also kind of an incarnate word situation because it's an expensive private school. So they give you pieces and then they piece together the rest of your academics. So I am saying all this to say this, guys. Grades are so, so important. Now, what is sad is that baseball and softball have the smallest budget. So we talked about junior college. We talked about NAIA because they're a little, most times, I'm not going to say all the time because there are some expensive private NAIA schools, but I was mostly talking about junior college and then some NAIA schools because I know we have an NAIA school here in San Antonio, Our Lady of the Lake University, which is not cheap by any means. It's a private school. So it's a little bit more expensive. So the NAIA schools like Our Lady of the Lake, like some of these more private institutions, will kind of fall into the NCAA era, though they're still working with smaller budgets. They're not going to be on the same level as like, I don't know, the UTs or these big time D1 schools. Obviously not the same kind of budget, obviously not the same kind of talent, and obviously not the same kind of money that they're going to be throwing around. So we talked about junior college. It's a completely different story. You can't really use that. You get a full ride. Those get thrown around a lot because that term gets thrown around a lot because technically it is a full ride at junior college because it only costs them like $3 grand. Now, getting into the NCAA. So when you look at stuff like, and when you get into NCAA, this might end up actually being kind of a loaded situation when you talk about budgets because baseball and softball tend most times at the NCAA level tend to have, and NCAA, I'm talking about D2 and D1 because D3 doesn't offer athletic scholarships. So we're talking about D2 and D1 schools. When it comes to their budgets, it's normally the smallest budgets aside from like golf and tennis, where those are kind of individualized sports. They're not technically team sports, they're individualized sports. So that's a little bit different. Those obviously have smaller because they only have like 6 guys on their staff or 6 players on their staff. So it's different. For baseball and softball, they, when it comes to team sports, normally have the lowest budgets for recruiting, for everything of all the team sports. And mostly, especially at the D1 level, and obviously anyone can attest to this, is that the reason that it gets so low is because most times it doesn't bring in as much revenue as, like, let's say you're at a big D1 school, a Big 12, an SEC or something like that. You know how much money that football and college hoops brings in? Honestly. So of course they're going to get more money. Of course they're going to get all these different things that they can do. It's a business. And I think that's where that, and like I said, this could definitely tie into NIL deals and all this other crap that's going on with the NCAA and this, how players are able to market themselves and make money for themselves for their image and likeness. We can go into that, but we're going to just draw the line because that's a whole other topic that I could talk about for a long time, and I'm not going to get into it. We're going to stick to scholarships and full rides and stuff like that today. And maybe if someone ticks me off in the future, I'll talk about NIL deals. But for right now, we're going to draw the line there. Yes, there's all that stuff, but we're talking scholarships. Now, lower budgets, right, for softball and baseball because of the revenue drivers that they are. They don't bring in the millions and millions of dollars that a team who may make it to make it to March Madness or the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight or whatever. If there's a team like that does that, you know how much revenue that they are bringing into that school. So, of course, they're going to get more money. Football, for the same thing. You make a bowl, you do all this stuff. There's more full rides there, and those do exist at that level. They do. They exist for football players and they exist for basketball players, and most times on athletic because they have the money to do it. Now, when it comes to baseball and softball, which is, hey, that's where we're at, right? Baseball and softball players, right? A lot of times coaches are working with a very finite budget, right? So they're sitting there and they're going to go, okay, which is why most scholarships that I saw when I was playing in my tenure of years of playing college baseball, a lot of scholarships, either guys didn't talk about them because it was just kind of like taboo. You just don't talk about money. You don't talk about what I have because it makes them feel a little bit whatever. It's just something you don't really talk about. It's like, oh, I'm on scholarship. That's all you talk about. That's all you say. But when you get closer to guys, you kind of you can talk about it. It's cool. We're cool. But a lot of times when you're especially surface level with guys, they're just gonna say, yeah, I'm on scholarship, whatever. Anyway, we kind of started digging into it, especially in junior college. Like I said, I was on a full ride, but it only covered athletic covered part, and then my academics covered the rest. Now, what people don't understand, and this is what I hear a lot of kids talking about, especially they're like, oh, fuck school, man. I ain't going to school. I'm here to play baseball. And most times that is true. Most times. But your grades can help you so much is what guys don't understand. This is what I was telling the gentleman I was speaking with. I said, well, look, your kid makes good grades. It's going to give him a level up, an edge on some of these kids who don't. And here's what I'm saying. So most times, like I said, schools are working with a finite budget, meaning they're going to try to split that athletic money they have into all the players they want to put on a scholarship. And then they're going to go through and say, okay, so this kid has good grades. This one doesn't have good grades. This kid has good grades. This one doesn't have good grades. So now we got to divvy this up. Okay, this guy's getting this much money. This guy's getting this much money. This guy's getting no athletic money. And this guy got one sole Pell Grant. Now, how are we going to get these guys all here? Well, because we want them all. We want them all bad. But we're going to have to figure out how we're going to get them here and make it least expensive, because that's what deters a lot of people, man. It's like, hey, well, I really like this school, but this school offered me, I don't have to pay anything, or I have to pay a little bit less. I maybe have to pay $3-4 grand after everything. And then this school's offering me, but they're saying I have to pay at least $6 or $7 grand. That's the deciding factor a lot of times. So they're kids. I mean, who wouldn't? And looking back at it now and looking at schools and stuff like that, I would be like, I would have gone to school is going to offer me everything, because now I'm paying student loans, yada, 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 right? When I could have just gone for free. It would have been a whole different story, right? But anyway, hindsight's 2020. Now listen. So your grades are important because they do give you that level up, and they could give you more opportunities to go to schools that you actually like. And a lot of times people think of it like this. Like I see it both ways. He goes, and talking to the gentleman, he goes, well, wouldn't the full athletic scholarship mean that they want you more? And I said, well, at times, yeah. I mean, if they're going to give you more athletic money, it's because they want you bad. It's called throwing the book at them. They threw the book at them. They give them everything, right? They want it. There's some guys that are that important in the coach's eyes that they're going to get the whole thing. And that happens. It does happen. It's rare. It's very rare that does happen, but it does rarely. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to say rare 6-7 times because it is very rare, but it happens. But I told him, I said, look, coaches are trying to find the best possible way to get all the players they want. Now, if they don't offer you anything, I would be, and they're just like, well, you can walk on. We'll give you a preferred walk-on spot, which is another big one. Because if you're a brainiac, I've seen dudes that are preferred walk-on that are not on any athletic scholarship, but they're coming to school for free from academics, and the coaches are happy because they're like, we want this kid, we have to put him on the team. We want to put him on the team. Obviously, he's coming here to play. Here's a preferred walk-on, but all your school is paid for, your room, board, everything with academic is done. They don't have to worry about it. So that's a thing that happens all the time. But then there's a fine line between a coach doing that because they actually wanted you, and a coach doing that because they're like, well, I mean, we can see a use for him maybe in 2 years. So we want him in those 2 years. We don't want him to go anywhere else. So we'll put him, hey, here's a preferred walk-on. We do love you. We want you on the team, blah, blah, blah. So you have to be weary of that too, because coaches will do that. It's a bit, like I said, it's a business. They want to win. They're going to do what they can to win. So that's another option they're going to have. But for the most part, keeping your grades up, and I'll reiterate this over and over again, will give you the edge up. Because if there's a school you want to go to, and I say this to say this, guys, because if there's a school that you want to go to, and let's say there's a depth chart, because if you go to any college baseball office, anything like that, there's normally a depth chart on the board, and they have their current guys with who they have, and then they have guys like 2026, 2025, 2027, and they're looking at all these guys, right? So let's say you're a 2027 graduate, and it's you and this other guy. You're both pitchers, okay? And, you're like, okay, I have a 3.5 GPA. And we're both of these guys. We both, let's say we're identical in repertoire, pitching repertoire. We both throw 90 to 93. We're very much equal, same size, same weight, same everything. I'm from Cali. I'm from Texas. Whatever. We're different, but we're the same. Okay. I have a 3.5 GPA. I qualified for this, and this. That will pay for my school. This guy skips class, doesn't go to class, makes terrible grades, but he's a stud, right? He plays ball really well. They're going to say, okay, let's look at these guys. This guy's good. He's reliable. He goes to class. This guy, I don't quite know what we're going to get. He's good, but he's been known not to go to class. He has grade issues. He's been in grade trouble quite a few times. We talked to his high school coach, yada, 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 right? They're going to go with the kid that they're like, he's reliable. He's got good grades. We don't have to pay as much to get him here because it's like, okay, if we want this guy and we already know he's got 4 other offers from other schools, we're going to have to give him a lot more to bring him in. And even then that might not be enough because we don't have that much to give. We don't care about him that much. We don't want to give him everything. So we're just going to say, you know what? We're just going to pull out of that. And we're going to come to this guy over here because he's got good grades. We only have to pay him 25%, and he's a good go. Everything else is paid for. We really want him. They're about the same. So in that situation right there, you and having good grades and a good GPA just beat somebody else out. And that's what I come to say. And this is what and I'm going to kind of full circle this here in a second, but grades can literally help you beat somebody out when it comes to that kind of stuff because their side of it is the budget's small. We don't have to give this guy that much. He's about the same as this guy. We're going to use this guy a lot, and we don't have to pay him that much. And it was all because you had a higher GPA and got more scholarships academic-wise. And I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen so many times. I've talked to friends that are college coaches, and that's the number one thing. Get your grades up because we don't have to pay you as much. I mean, that's more money in our pocket, more money in our budget that we can go and get stuff for the athletes. We can go. It's all encompassing, right? And like I said, I can talk all day about budgets. And I'm going to try to contain myself because some of that shit pisses me off so much about budgets and coaching and how much they're able to pay their coaches and coaching staff. I'm upset about that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that another day. But point is, guys, grades are important, and full rides, sometimes you have to take it with a grain of salt. And if you're a parent, don't stress. I know, and I wanted to talk about this because, it's May 9th. I know summer ball is coming up. It's approaching. If you're a high school player, maybe a little bit up north, y'all are still playing. Maybe you have a couple more weeks left of your high school season, and then it's summer ball. So if you're a junior going into your senior year, this is a big summer, especially if you're looking to play college. So I wanted to talk about all this and kind of get it in the conversation circulating because, like I said, summer ball's coming. This is a high recruiting time for a lot of kids, especially if you're a senior and you're unsigned and you're looking to play somewhere. This is probably one of the biggest summers you're going to have for a while because this is going to dictate where you're going to go the next 4 years. And don't let anybody fool you, guys. If you're a kid who hasn't signed yet, if you're a kid who has not signed yet to play somewhere, take a deep breath, relax. It's all right. I was that kid. I was freaking out. I didn't get my first offer at a high school till the last week of school. The last week of May, I got my offer. So believe me, guys, there's people still looking. There's people that still need players. It's just, it may seem like, oh man, I'm late. I don't know what I'm going to do. Relax. Play hard this summer. Go to showcases. Go to performance camps. Someone will pick you up. There's somebody looking. Okay, I promise. Don't freak out. Make good grades. Play hard. That's all you got to do, man. That's the name of the game. But yeah, if you're a guy who hasn't been recruited yet, I wouldn't freak out, man. Relax. There's still plenty of people. Like, I can't tell you the amount of scouts that go to games who need guys for immediate, like that are like, hey, I had a guy pull out of a scholarship mid-summer. I need a guy now. I need a guy. We have the money. We'll give it. We don't have a lot of money, but we have some we can give you. Like, that happens a lot, guys, more than you would think. So, like I said, if you're an unrecruited guy going into your senior year, you have time. If you're an unrecruited guy going into your freshman year of college, there's still time, believe it or not. But like I said, guys, full rides, always take them with a grain of salt and don't let no freaking parents, because I know how these parents are, man. I know how these parents can be. Don't let them fool you into thinking that their kid's hot shit and that their kid's doing this and their kid's doing that. And he got a full ride here. He got a full ride there. Always take it with a grain of salt because, like you've learned today, a lot of times they don't actually exist and it's not true. So, do full rides exist? Yes. We've seen them every so often, but it's not common. Do we see partial scholarships that are turned into full rides and then presented as full rides? Absolutely, which then just makes it very, very clear that grades are more important than we sometimes think they are, though most times a lot of us didn't forget how important they were. So, like I said, guys, if you're going through your recruiting process, good luck this season. If you're going through to the next summer ball season that's going to go into your senior year, play hard, keep your grades up, keep out of trouble, watch what you put on socials, all that stuff, man. The same spiel I've been given since I was doing bottom of the ninth, man. Keep your shit straight, play hard, you'll be good to go. But like I said, guys, thanks for listening. I wanted to take a little bit of a break from the MLB news. If you're an MLB fiend and you like the news and you just listen to my episode because you're a fan, thank you. We're going to have some MLB pieces on our socials here later today. I'm going to try to do a breakdown. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, time will tell if I can get that in today or not. But yeah, guys. So all players that are playing, good luck this summer. If you're still playing if you're still playing your senior year, your last year, good luck wherever you're going next. If you're still playing going into whatever you got going next, good luck to you. But yeah, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. We have another episode. We're probably going to get back talking about Paul Skeens tomorrow because I'm excited to see it. And I swear to God, if MLB or I can't find that game, I'm going to be pissed. But somebody better be airing that game because I'm going to damn well be watching. And yeah, that's probably the biggest news I've got today, guys, is Paul Skeens starting. So, like I said, guys, thanks for listening. Make sure to follow us on socials, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Like, subscribe, comment on all the shit on YouTube. There's so much stuff on YouTube that YouTube confuses me sometimes. But anything it asks you to do for the channel, do it on YouTube. I guess like, subscribe, follow, all that crap. So, like I said, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you in the next one.